It's a wonderful frenetic energy right now, and it really does feel like a hotel in a small space in which all these people are coming and going, and the lives are happening and overlapping simultaneously.
It's also really great to be on stage with so many like performers of color, I guess, because I mean we're all like Hispanic or Latina or Latino, and also Six Nations. It's so amazing.
I'm coming from, obviously the First Nations community, and we have been fighting for so long to play and tell our own stories, and I think it has to happen that way. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Right.
They're our stories.
In this particular case, I think it worked out really, really well that we're all Latinos, because our families felt what happened after this.
This point of the process is a really revealing time. It's where you get to see whether you've got a ton of work or a little work, and I found that we're ahead of the game here.
Doing like that full run through finally was so great to see everyone else's arc, because you're so focused in this process on yours and being true to the history and to the text and everything, or the not text in my case.
It's a story that needs to be told, and the fact that Carmen and Marilo have fought so hard to tell it their way, or at least Carmen's way, and with her own vision, I think is incredibly noble and really, really important to the work that we're able to do now, because we can actually give the story the truth that it needs.
Her writing is beautiful, the rhythm of it is beautiful, the description of the land, and then you get these bits of harsh reality of the torture, and that juxtaposition with the beauty and the writing and the magic of everyone's performances. Everybody in Toronto should come and see this show.
This is the start. My role in Refugee Hotel is a male cueca dancer. The cueca is the national dance of Chile, and this character represents the memory, to have the opportunity to be part in a Canadian theater and show to Canadian and Latin America audience, or part of my country's history.
Right.
For me is a very important play.
Well, one of the smart things about Carmen's writing in this is she's really bang on about how people negotiate trying to speak another language that they don't really speak, in every way that she's depicted this.
Right.
And Pat copes with the Spanish speakers by, in good Air Canada fashion, trying to speak franglais.
Right.
And that makes such sense to me. And occasionally I get a word of Spanish and I'm so thrilled.
Bill O'Neill is autobiographical in that this was someone that actually existed in the playwright Carmen's past experience, and he was a Canadian who was in Chile when the coup took place, and so he's definitely a sympathetic character in that he is a link between sort of the world that they're in now, which is very alien to them, and he provides my idea is that he's a bit of an ally.
I think this play absolutely needs this cast at this point in time for it to be the play that it should be.
Yep.
And I love the fact that I'm finally, for the first time, the minority in a cast, and that I have to fill in the blanks, and that I have to find a way of not making my characters two-dimensional, and that I have to do a lot more work that I have seen non-Caucasians have to do for many years now.
So it was nice that right from day one we jumped right in and trying to discover our goals and thoughts and everything, our world, right up on our feet already. This is the first time that I haven't actually sat down to memorize lines. They've all, knock on wood, they've all come, not all of them, but most of them have come out organically almost, I guess.
It's my kind of approach to the work, so I always like being on my feet and making the discoveries as I go along. At this point, what I'm trying to do is trying to tweak certain things making my beats more clear for the audiences, especially inhabiting his movement.
The more we work and rehearse, the more you start understanding the characters beyond the words, right? And trying to figure out what that journey is, even understand what kind of stamina I need to have for the 2 hours, right? Like it's just distributing the energy, and because in itself is a marathon. We have very emotional scenes, so it's also how you recover instantly from one to the next.
It's been very sad material for me. It's getting to me. I come home very sad and very drained because it deals with, I mean, for all of us that we come from like Canada is not our home or not our first home. It starts to talk about home and family and those things that, to me, is exactly what gets me.
It's always fun coming to work,
Yep.
because I think what Bea was saying and Carlos is that we have a good team, you know, and since we have a good team, we're happy to be working with each other,
Yep.
and that helps us take bigger risks in the workspace.
What we wanted in terms of casting was that all the Latino characters be played by Latino actors. And then, of course, then you have to get very specific, right? So that's a given. All the Latino characters have to be played by Latino actors, and they need to be a certain age and a certain gender, and they need to have certain chemistry between them. And we, of course, wanted people who are stage actors. So yeah, it took us a very long time to get the perfect cast, and it was worth taking that time and making that effort because we do have the perfect cast as far as I'm concerned. I think we literally are making history, right? So everybody in the room who, in terms of the Latino actors, for example, none of them are playing stereotypes. And for many of them, that's the first time. One of the things that we're dealing with a lot in the play is torture.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, for lack of a better term, very mainstream right now because of Abu Ghraib, because of Guantanamo, etc.
Yeah.
The other day, one of the actors and I went to visit the current refugee hotel in Toronto, and it's packed with Afghanis and Iraqis who have just arrived in the last 2 weeks. And we had a long and interesting conversation with one of them who spoke English, and he's a doctor from Baghdad, and he just arrived 2 weeks ago to Toronto with his family. And it's like, how more,
Wow.
there's nothing historical about this play. That's all I'm saying. It's about as Canadian and as current as you can get.